Thank you. Appreciate that. This is awesome. Yeah, thanks for doing this kids' night. This is so cool to give them an opportunity to do this. I'm so glad that my son could come up here and tell you all that I'm not the father. And Tiana and I, we're going to have a little talk later, I think. But I love kids, honestly. Like, I really do. In fact, I was an elementary school teacher for 8 years. Now, don't worry, it's not that impressive, I guess. Yeah. No, it's amazing, you guys, especially when you consider the statistics. Don't you know that as a man, I'm about 100 times more likely to go to prison than to teach elementary school? Well, come on. It's crazy. It's just not right. Our society needs a change. We need more women in jail. That's what I think. Yeah, I was in class one time, and we're doing silent reading, It's supposed to be silent reading, it never is. But this kid comes up to me and tells me, Mr. D, school's just jail for kids. And I'm like, oh, sorry you feel that way. Now sit back in your cell before I send you to the warden's office. Little punk. Man. But he had a good point. I started thinking about it. I'll give you some examples here. For one, both inmates and school children are transported on large buses. Except there's less turnover in prison bus drivers. It's probably a more pleasant and orderly ride, I'm guessing. I don't know the last time you were on a school bus, but anyway. Also, at recess, the different grade levels kind of act like rival prison gangs. You know what I mean? With their own territories and stuff. It's like, yo, first grader, you lost to something? This is a kindergarten playground. Now beat it. This is vicious, man. They're territorial. Yeah, thank you. Get an amen over here. And also, they have to be heavily guarded, these kids, just like inmates. In fact, if a teacher wants to take a bathroom break, and leave the class unsupervised for 30 seconds, they just erupt. The kids freak out. It's nuts. It's pandemonium in there. It's just like a prison riot. It's outrageous, I'm also told there's a a school to prison pipeline. You heard this? Yeah, I've never seen it myself, but I'm guessing it's in the boys' bathroom somewhere. Would be my guess. One last thing. Just like inmates, elementary school students even have their own unique currency. Pokemon cards. Yeah. Seriously, you can get anything at school with Pokemon cards, Trust me, it's like, hey, bro, you got the stuff? Yeah, I got that Jigglypuff right here, man. You got the answer key? Yeah, just let me have that Jigglypuff. Whoa, chill out, Mr. D. Yeah, that's right, I was on Jigglypuff. And you should know, Jigglypuff is really just a gateway Pokemon. Pretty soon you're hooked on legendaries. Kids know what I'm talking about, right? This guy right here knows exactly what I'm talking about, yeah. Anyway, so I started printing my own currency, try and combat this, and created this whole Mr. D dollars system. A lot of kids know that teachers have their own money in class, and the kids got jobs, and they paid rent, and it was great. Everything was going. I was really proud of myself until, a few students started to dabble in, we'll say, questionable business practices. It didn't take long for a sophisticated black market to emerge. You got energy drinks, hard candy. You got Beyblades, gum. Pogs. I don't know. What are the kids into these days? All of it banned by the schools, and yet still flourished on the playground, And at first, it was kind of cute, the whole organized crime thing, but it started to get a little out of hand. One time before school, I saw a rather large student push another kid off his scooter. He's like, hey, punk, you get us the Mr. D dollars by recess, or your scooter's going to end up at the bottom of the Virgin River. Capiche? I run over there like, hey, don't say that. You know the Virgin River's way too low. Throw it in a reservoir. Thanks, Mr. D. It's like, yeah, no problem. Now give me a stick of gum. Another time, a kid in my class failed a math test, so I called him back to the teacher table. Like, come on, you know what you did. Kid walks over all confident, slips a 20 in my shirt pocket. He's like, hey, let's just forget about the whole thing, huh? You're probably thinking, where are all these Italian kids in St. George? I don't know any of these. But anyway, I'm like, dude, you trying to bribe me with my own fake money? Are you serious? Come back with a Red Bull and we'll talk, My principal told me, Ethan, you got to clean up the crime in your classroom. And, I agreed. I mean, I'd hate for these kids to wind up like the most infamous American-Italian mobster, Tony Fauci. America, I'm going to make you an offer you can't refuse. Oh, man. Anyway, so I decided I'm going to find out who the kingpin is, I'm going to figure out who's pulling all the strings here. I started with the boys with bad grades, especially if you had, those shoes with the wheels in them, little rolly shoes, or if he had, like, the letter X in his name. Those are the kids you start with. Anyway, by the time I finally figured out who it was too late because kids went home for summer. I never saw them again. My only solace? Consider the statistics. Based on this kid's third grade reading level, it's highly likely he's in real jail now. That or a summer sales rep, either way. Or Walmart. Dang. Major diss. Anyway, but reading's always a big deal at school, I found, and most kids love reading. You guys like reading here tonight? Reading's cool, right? Yeah. That's great. I knew there'd be a kid I knew it. Boom, literacy. But it's amazing to me. It's so incredible that Dr. Seuss is still number one, even after all these years and fake controversies, And you know what their number 2 favorite book is? It's called Everyone Poops. You guys seen this book? Yeah, well, what can I say? Kids have crappy taste in literature. All right. But seriously, though, I think we do need more men in elementary school. Let me give you another reason why here. If you've walked in an elementary school lately, you see on the hallways all these cutesy vinyl letters, with inspirational messages like, be awesome today, or kindness is power, or my favorite, trust in the now. What does that even mean? Trust in the now? Are you kidding me? What garbage is this? If we had more men around, we could say things like, get your work done, Quit crying. Measure twice, cut once, Then maybe when they grow up and go to college, they wouldn't need puppy therapy during finals week. Or cry closets. Oh, that's a thing now. Seriously, though, way back in the day, teachers, we had real authority. I mean, I could paddle a kid just for looking at me funny, and then go home, and his parents would paddle him again just for good measure. It's like, it's the soft parenting now that's leading to this flurry of snowflakes that we're seeing. And now it's like teachers only have the illusion of authority, One complaint to mommy, the next day I'm in the principal's office. It's like, Mr. Deceuster, could you come down here for a second? We got a parent in my office. It's like, oh boy. Show up, sit down. All right, we're in for it. What happened? Mrs. Gubler here is talking about pulling her daughter out of our school. Oh, no, please don't. Then I'd only have 37 students. My daughter Jaslyn tells me that you were out playing kickball And you told her to get off the field? Wait, this is Utah. Get off the field? Yeah, actually, I remember. She got out at first base. She was out, you know. No, this is not acceptable. Okay, Jocelyn needs a safe space. Well, she's just got to run a little faster then, that's all. That's a thinker there. But seriously, though, it's like, I don't know. I mean, kids, parents, we gotta have a wake-up call here, you know? Like, kids need a little adversity in their lives in order to become more resilient adults. That's what I think, yeah, exactly. So that's why I took a Where's Waldo book. This is genius. Listen to this. I took a Where's Waldo book, scanned it, photoshopped out the Waldo, and then I gave it to the students and told them, try to find Waldo. For an hour. For an hour. Yeah. You might think that sounds a little cruel, but it turns out it's a transcendent experience, really, because eventually Waldo finds you. You know? And then he tells you to quit crying and get your work done. Yep. Now, I hate to say it, guys, I kind of sold out. You know, I quit teaching elementary school 3 years. Now I work at the university formerly known as Dixie. And people ask me all the time, hey, what's the deal with the name? What's the new name going to be? And, you know, I can't tell them. I'm on the name committee. And so, you know, I get to see everything behind the scenes. I know what the new name's going to be. But I'm really not supposed to tell. But if you guys really want to know, yeah? Okay, all right, hey. Okay, the new name is going to be Dr. Seuss University. Yeah, DSU, it's perfect, right? I think the students are going to love it. I'm excited. Oh, the places you won't go. Yeah, I was sad to find out that college kids actually aren't smarter than a fifth grader, because I've been all over campus, met a lot of students, and I still can't seem to find a decent Jigglypuff dealer anywhere. It's just ridiculous. Anyway, thanks a lot, guys. Ethan Deceuster, have a great weekend.